So for number 2 here, we're evaluating the placement and usage of this however, right? So when do we use however? We want to use it when whatever follows in some way counters or contradicts what was said before. Kind of like but, right? So is that the case here? Let's see. We're told here beforehand that public libraries in the United States have experienced reductions in their operating funds due to cuts imposed at federal, state, and local levels. However, what's following after is library staffing has been cut by almost 4%. Okay, so does the fact that library staffing was cut in any way really counter or oppose the fact that public libraries have experienced reduction in their operating funds? Not really. In fact, it's kind of a logical continuation, right? You lost your funds, so then you have to cut your staff, right? So we definitely want to throw out A as, however, just it doesn't really fit here. What about B, consequently? What does that mean? Well, if you say consequently, that means what you're about to say afterwards is a consequence of what was said before, which does seem to be the case here, right? You do see that the library staffing was cut as a result of the reduction in operating funds. So this seems like a pretty good choice. C, nevertheless. Nevertheless means in spite of, right? So was library staffing cut in spite of operating funds being reduced? Definitely not. It came as a result of, right? And lastly, D is previously. That, if we put that right here, that would suggest that this library staffing cut happened before the reduction in operating funds. And in this case, that probably doesn't make very much sense, given that you'd probably lose your funds and then cut your staff rather than cutting your staff and then losing your funds. So that sort of switches up the causal chain here. So we want to go with B, consequently, as the library staffing cut was a consequence of the reduction in operating funds.